Hello, hello. Happy December 29, Wednesday night. Um, Almost the end of another year on planet Earth. Uh, 7 o'clock. Let me turn my ringer off. 7 o'clock Central Time. Gonna stall here until we get some people on, but I hope everyone had a happy, healthy, safe, unproductive, relaxing, refreshing, rejuvenating, overeating, lots of football, lots of music, great holiday. Although I guess the holiday's really not over. I mean, not really till what, the second? Really? I think the music business kind of starts kicking up around the 5th or 6th. Not many people are chomping at the bit to get back, but, you know, just like everyone, once the year rolls around, it's time to get back in the swing of things, and you start to miss it a little bit, and next thing you know, you're in up to here or here. I have a session. My first session outside the house is on the 3rd, so which is the Monday after the weekend. So see a few people coming on. Hey guys, hey Dr. Bob, how it's going from Hiram? Great, Hiram. It's going great. I hope it's going great for you too. Paul, hey, it was awesome. Well, that's great. Great, so happy you had a great holiday, man. It's a nice time of the year to disconnect and connect into other things a little more than we normally do in our hectic schedule. Ken, hi from Toronto. How's it going, eh? I love Toronto. I go fishing up above Toronto. I fly in to YYZ, not the Rush song, but that's the call letters for the airport. And I get in a car and I rent a car and I drive about an hour and a half, I think, north to Sparrow. And I go fishing with my friend David Bendith, the great producer, the great arranger, the great guitar player, the great mixer, and the great fisherman. He's great at catching pike and muskie and all the above. And we have a blast in the boat. And we talk about life like Pat Metheny and all the above. Anyway, I want to talk a bit about the must-have plugin list. I'm going to talk about it and give you my thoughts on the must-have plugin list. I want to hear your thoughts, and then we'll open it up to some questions about that or anything else. And let's just hang here for a little while and see what we come up with. The must-have plugin list means a lot to a lot of different people. There are certain plugins that I use every mix. I use the Wave stuff. I use the Sound Toy stuff. I use the Fab Filter stuff. I use the UAD stuff. I use the Cornef stuff. I use the Boz stuff. When I use the Slate stuff. Gosh, what am I forgetting? You all know. Anyway, these are names of companies that we all know, that we're all marketed to. And we use their stuff or we've seen their stuff. I go out to Gear Sluts, or I guess it's called Gear Space now, and check out new things to see what's out there, just to keep my ear to the ground. Always looking for something new, a new sound, a new type of something that takes my music to a different place. I have to say, we're all pretty loaded down with great compressors, EQs, reverbs, limiters. Oh, I do love Ozone and I love newfangled audio limiter. Um, I love Valhalla. Sorry, I just saw that land, Valhalla. Um, we're all marketed to by these companies, and they all have great stuff, killer stuff. And the reason you see me use this stuff in my videos, or you see other mixers, producers use stuff in their videos, some of them may have deals, or some of them may get free stuff or whatever to use their stuff in the videos. I don't get anything from anyone out there. I use what I love. No one promotes. I don't promote anything on this channel other than what I use, and I pay for it. But the reason I use this stuff, besides it being great, is because I'm familiar with it. I've used a lot of these plugins for a long, long time, and I'm familiar and I'm quick and I know how to navigate the plugins. I know what they sound like. I know what they do. They're familiar to me. They're in my template. Now things go in and out of my template. I'll use new things for a while. I'll go back to something old and switch things up. All that, like we all do. But I find today in the music that I do, whether I'm making a record or I'm doing film and TV, everything is in a hurry. If I'm doing a film and TV song, it's not a demo, it's a master. And I've got to do the master. I've got to make it sound like a record, top to bottom in 4 hours. From writing it to doing the track to singing it to mixing it, 4 or 5 hours, boom, the whole thing, it didn't exist and it's done and ready to be on the air in 4 or 5 hours. So a lot of times, I've got to be a good steward of my time to get these things done. Because a lot of TV stuff and movie stuff have deadlines and they don't let you know till the last minute. So I use these type of things because I'm familiar and I can move fast. I can navigate quickly. With records, I have a little more time to experiment and I have a little more time to figure things out, but not a whole lot because, if a record's 12 songs and you're working on 2 or 3 records at the same time and the new ones come in, life gets crowded, life gets busy, and you have to keep moving, even though you've got to do a great job. I know these plugins will do a great job, and I know them like the back of my hand, and I feel comfortable with this. The same reason why you see people like Chris and Tom Lord Alge still mixing on a console. They're comfortable with that. That's their thing. That's their instrument. That's their way of doing things. That's the way they navigate. That's how they can do something quickly. They know it. They know exactly what to do, and they can get the mix done in a few hours or half a day or whatever it is they do. Now, we've seen a lot of mixers switch to in the box, and their mixes still sound great. The busiest mixer that does the biggest profile stuff on the planet, Cerebin, is an in-the-box mixer and has been for years and years and years and years. So we don't need to get into the console versus in-the-box thing because it's all going to be in the box before long because these consoles are going to break down. Recall is too difficult, all that. And the guys that do it to an art and can do all that stuff quickly and recall and all that, that's great. But what I want to get at is I want to help you do something, not do something that I did, especially when I was younger. And I bit on a lot of the marketing. Other pros talking about plugins, showing how they use them in a mix, and how great they are and how they sounded exactly like their hardware console, or they've been waiting for this plugin their whole life and they finally got it. And I would bite on every one of these and I'd go out and buy them. And of course they sounded good, but I didn't know if they sounded better than what I had, or I thought they sounded better than what I had because I was marketed to. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being marketed to. We're all, trying to make a buck, and we're all trying to do good work and make great plugins, and there's lots of great ones out there. But for those of you who don't have the kind of cash to buy some of these plugins, it can get expensive, and to buy an EQ and a limiter and a compressor and a reverb and a delay. I've got to tell you, most of the plugins that come with your DAW, Pro Tools, Cubase, Logic, Studio One, all of these DAW plugins now, years later, are amazing. You could mix, record, engineer, whatever, program a great song with just using the stock plugins in your DAW. Now, the reason I don't do that is because I said earlier, I've spent a lot of money on plugins, and I've spent even more money on plugins that I don't use, that aren't even loaded on this computer. They're on some drive somewhere that I'll never go back to dig up again. Hundreds, if not thousands, and thousands of dollars. So don't let anything that I say sway you to buy something that's out of your price range and that you don't need. And don't let someone else say that either. Like I said, these are great plugins, but you've got the plugins that you need that came with your DAW. Fantastic stuff. All the EQs sound great. All the reverbs sound great. The old Bomb Factory 1176s sound great. All of this stuff is awesome. Learn those plugins. Learn how they work. Learn how they sound. Learn what they do, and you're going to be just fine. You're going to make stuff that sounds as great as anyone else. In saying that, what I do look for in new plugins are plugins that don't do something that is out of that do something that the plugins I have don't do. Now, normally, that'll be something like some weird, cool, mangled delay, or a really weird chorus. That new Slate thing that came out, the one right after Metatune, I can't remember the name of it, but it mangles things and it does weird stuff, distortion and pitch, and it can take something that you put into it and make it sound unrecognizable. Things like this, you're going to be better off spending your money on, because, like I said, all of the EQs and all that stuff that you have in your DAW are going to be great. They're going to do what you need them to do. Look for plugins. There's one that I bought. I think it's called Drip. Really inexpensive. It has lots of great presets of like multi effects that just do weird things. I think it was like 20 or 30 bucks. Just plugins that make you think outside the box, that can make your tracks stand out, and where other people go, man, that's really cool. Like that, because people gravitate towards sounds so much now. Unique, weird, cool, hooky sounds, besides the parts or besides a great mix. So if you've got extra money and you have the ability to buy some stuff and look around, look for that stuff. Look for the stuff that you know that you don't have. You don't need another compressor. You don't need another reverb. You don't need another delay. I mean, come on. I mean, what how many SSL clone and Neve clone and API clone stuff is out there that you just go, come on, man, give me a break. You guys got to stop making this stuff. It all sounds good. It all sounds great. And to me, it all sounds the same. Like maybe some guy that is a Neve nerd that knows way more about Neve than I can tell the difference. But I have a Neve, a hardware vintage mic pre, and I have the Neve mic pre, the Unison one in API. I mean in Universal Audio, and they both sound great. And I can't really tell the difference. And if there is a difference, nobody cares. So now, when it comes to sound sources, I know for Cubase, the sound sources, I mean like drums or real sounding guitar amps, things like that. Now, Cubase comes, and I'm sure a lot of these other programs come with, synths. You can get cool pads and piano sounds and organ sounds and all that kind of stuff. You can get drum sounds and real sounding bass sounds. I'll say that Cubase has some good stuff, but a lot of the programming and sound source stuff that I have, I don't use that came with the DAW. Every now and then, there's something that I'll find that's cool. But look for companies like IK Multimedia, or Tune Tracks. They're easy bass stuff. They're easy drummer stuff. They're superior drummer stuff. They're easy key stuff. Spectrasonics. They're Trillion. They're Omnisphere. They're Keyscape. There's lots of fantastic companies out there that have great, that you're gonna get a lot more bang for your buck if that's where you're spending money on plugins, and like I said before, plugins that make cool, weird sounds that you don't already have. So that's kind of my my plug-in advice to you, so you don't throw away a lot of money that I did. I'm a lot more picky about what I buy now, and to be frank, I need to go through my computer. My plugin list is so long when I go through to find a plugin or whatever, and half of the plugins I haven't used in 5 years. I really need to go in and clean that out, so it's not so hard to find stuff, and I free up some disk space, and it's time to do that. I usually do that through the holidays. This year's been kind of crazy, but I'd recommend that too. Let me see. Mellotron. Let's see. Danny Gable. Redtron is still the best free Mellotron. That's great. I'm glad you told everyone that. I have my Mellotron, I think, is made by a company named Mtron, but wasn't free. So thanks for that, Danny. There's lots of great free stuff out there too, and cheap stuff. Stuff's coming down, man. Back when the Waves like Diamond Bundle came out, like back when I was a long time ago, I mean that thing was like $7,000 or $8,000. I mean, who can afford that for a bunch of plugins, So anyway, I want to open it up to any plugin questions, but about what I use or other people use, or any other questions. Let me see if I've missed stuff here. Kip Koontz, hey Kip, glad I'm catching you, Dr. Bob live. How's it going, Kip? Happy holidays. There's a really cool chat here from a name and a that I can't pronounce, and whatever you've said as a comment, I can't pronounce. It's in a different language, but how cool is that? John Walker, hello from Indonesia. Man, a big hello to you, John. I've never been there. I bet it's fantastic. Do you guys is this time of year a holiday in Indonesia? I don't know. Let us know. Darren Andrews, I'm loving the Relab LX48. I don't know that I've ever used that. I'm assuming that's a Lexicon 48, and the Lexicon stuff is awesome. I use some of that too. I love their black hole reverb. I love their I love the Eventide stuff that emulates their old God, I can't believe their name escapes me. The blackface units. Good evening, Bobby. Thanks. So sorry, I got to get this right here. What am I doing? Okay. Thanks so much for all your help, Don. Don Nathan. Don, it's a pleasure. Thanks for being on here. Always happy to help. Danny Gable. Reaper is delicious with their amount of plugins. I've heard that, and I've heard Reaper is a great program, and I've heard it's really good on not taxing the resources of the computer. I've never used it, but I know a lot of people that have and love it. Um, so thanks for that, Danny. Darren Andrews, most times they run with less processing power too. I think you might, is that talking about the Reaper plugins? I've heard that. I've heard Reaper's awesome. Redtron is still the best. Free Mellotron, thank you, Danny. Must-have plugins. Anything from UA, absolutely. But in the cheaper category, IKM. Oh, IK Multimedia, absolutely. Isn't too bad, and Waves on sale can be good. Absolutely. The Universal Audio stuff is fantastic. Obviously, you can't just buy that and run it in your DAW. You've got to have, they run on their own cards or in Apollo, or you must have a piece of their hardware to run their plugins. But their plugins they're not native. They've got to run on their own power, but they're phenomenal. IK Multimedia is great. I think I also use one of their basses. Is it Modo bass? Is that right? And Waves is always great. I love Waves. Use it all the time. Danny Gable, Spitfire BBC Orchestra Discovery is another great free program. That's awesome. I have some Spitfire Orchestra stuff. I don't know if I have the BBC Orchestra, but I will check that out. Contrapunctopus. I'm butchering that name, sorry. Really love your channel, Doug Blackhawk. Quite a bit back in the day, 95-ish. Thanks, yes. I used to play drums for Blackhawk. I produced some of their stuff before I left. We're all still great friends. They were awesome tours, great records to make, great bunch of guys to be a part of. It was a great ride. Lots of great fun and memories. Chris Corral, or Corral. Are there any plugins you would say are from unconventional developers that are must-haves? Absolutely. I don't know if I'd call him an unconventional developer because he has 4 or 5 unbelievable plugins right now. But go to Korneff Audio, Korneff, like Frank. Anything and everything he's done and will ever do will be as good as anything you've ever purchased or ever will. The Pawn Shop compressor, he's got a thing called an Ape. He's got some, he's got a SSL TalkBack compressor. He's got some reverbs. Dan Korneff is a genius in every way and an awesome guy. His former partner in crime, David Bendith, also has an incredible compressor and EQ by a company called Boz, B-O-Z. They also have amazing stuff, and I would say they're unconventional developers. I mean, they're not as popular as some of the other things, but absolutely fantastic. H3000 and H910, thanks. Yeah, that Len Baird. That's the Eventide stuff that I couldn't think of earlier. Thanks, Lynn. Mark Robinson, Happy New Year, sir. Go UC Bearcats. LOL. Glad you're live. Good to be live. There are, I guess the Bearcats would that be football? Because, or it'll be basketball because football's done or about done. College football. Some big games coming up this weekend now. Holy cow. Michael V. Cush. Yes, Cush is also some great stuff. They're clariphonic and some of that stuff. I've not used it enough. I should dive back into that and see if I should get better at the Cush stuff. Yeah, C3R1C3. Yeah, Modo bass. Yeah, that's IK Multimedia. And Modo drums. Yeah, I have Modo drums. I've not used them as much as Modo bass, but I have tucked them into some songs with some other samples, and they sound great. By the way, shameless plug. Look, go out. I have a video about Dr. Bob's Killer Kit, and Dr. Bob's Sizzling Cymbals. If you want what I think are some of the best drum samples and cymbals out there, go grab those. They're pay what you want. Go to the videos. Under the videos, there's a pay what you want link. Hit the link. Make your donation. Wait 10 seconds, and you'll get the download information. And the good thing about these samples is they're not going to sound like everything else. You know, I love Stephen Slate samples, but after about 5 years of it, I couldn't hear another one. I mean, everything sounded like it. And that's not a slam on anything Slate. I use Slate stuff all the time. But that snare sound, I just couldn't do it anymore. And it's a great sounding snare, but I just ended up, I listen to my tracks and I think, my God, I sound like everyone else. And that's not always a good thing. So, Kip Koontz, so glad to hear someone who does this every day say stay with the onboard stuff, and you can always hear differences in boutique stuff. Still using Wave's Platinum Bundle from years ago. Absolutely, Kip. Wave stuff is killer. Everything they make is good. I mean, I love their CLA stuff. I love their SSL stuff. I love their L2. I love the MV2. If you haven't used the MV2 by them, check that out. It's magic. I love their stereo spread stuff. Man, Waves is, you know, we all love Waves. I mean, I know people complain about, you know, the way that you purchase them or that kind of stuff. But you can't argue with the quality of the plugins. Thomas DeVries. What's up, Bobby? Man, I'm up, man. I'm up. I'm hanging. I'm here with you tonight and happy to be here. Chris, thanks, Doc. You got it, Chris. Danny Gable, Cincinnati Cotton Bowl. Wait, is that who we were talking about earlier? The Bearcats? Wait, I'm confused. I'm easily confused. I think Cincinnati plays, Alabama. That's going to be a tough one. Cincinnati is undefeated, but I don't know that they've played the likes of someone like Alabama. My neighbor thinks it'll be over at halftime. But you don't know till you play it. Six Nails, off the wall question here, Dr. Bob. Would you rather produce and mix your favorite artist of all time, or would you rather have the credit of producing the best-selling artist of all time? I would absolutely, unequivocally, want to produce and mix my favorite artist of all time. Money comes and goes. I like money, but I've never been, thank God, I've never been a slave to it. I have a good relationship with money. I try not to spend more than I have. My debts are low. And I've never operated my career from a money first standpoint. If I did, I wouldn't be doing this channel. This channel is not a moneymaker. And a lot of the music that I make, I mean, living in Nashville, if I wanted to go for as much money as I could, I would probably be writing songs downtown every day, country songs, and producing country songs, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I've had a #1 country song, but I have a trouble genre all the time. I like to mix it up. It's good for my soul. It's good for my music. So if I had the chance to produce and mix Paul McCartney or Jeff Lynne or Don Henley or somebody like that, man, they could probably get me to Elton John, Billy Joel. They could probably get me to do it for free, but don't tell them I said that. Body knowledge. Hey, have you ever had to force someone to get vocal training? No, I have not. I've had to force artists to not come to the studio and drink when they sing. My first inclination that I get on that comment is, if I have to force anybody to do anything, I may be working with the wrong person at the wrong time of their career. Um, I don't like to force people to do things. Um, I like it to happen naturally. Um, if a singer isn't cutting it, pitch or stamina or whatever, and they don't have any other answers to make themselves better, and your answer is, let's try to get some vocal training, and they say no, that's a weird scenario for me. That something else sounds like it's up there, some insecurities, or I don't know. That sounds fishy. Um, no offense to that person who's singing, but I've had to talk people into stuff, mix moves and lyrics and key changes. There's nothing wrong with the art of negotiation, but I don't think I've ever had to force anybody to do something. That's strong. Usually there's something else going on. Anyway, hope that helped. Michael V, I got the cymbals. They are great. Thanks, Michael. I'm glad you dig them. I use them in every song. There's some great stuff in there. Um, and I'm proud of the pack. And thanks to everybody who's participated in donating money to get them. Lauren Tucker, Moto Bass is great. Yes, Moto Bass is great. I find myself using Moto Bass and Easy Bass most of the time um, when I need a real sounding bass but don't feel like playing it myself. I am not a great bass player by any means, so these basses sound so real now, and they're so even and they're in tune. You can knock it out quickly. I find myself using those more than Trillion. I used to use, excuse me, Trillion a lot. I still use maybe Trillion for synth-based sounding stuff, but when you want something that sounds real, that's fake, Moto Bass and Easy Bass are fantastic. Dr. Bob, any recommended vocal training materials you'd recommend? I don't know. What I would do is I would Google, like, I would Google vocal coaches or vocal teachers in Nashville, Tennessee. Even if you don't live here, it doesn't matter. In a big music city like this, and get a list of 5 or 6 and read the reviews and see how much they cost, and watch a video on them and see which one you think would be you would be most comfortable with, or your singer would be most comfortable with. Talk it out with your singer, or if it's for you, that's great. And I would think that most of these vocal teachers do Zoom sessions and could hear your voice, watch you sing like this, and be able to give great advice. So that's what I would do. I'm sure there's stuff on YouTube too. How to get support from your gut, how to make your forehead, make it, pinpoint where the note is up in your head, all that kind of stuff. I would look on YouTube and I would Google and I would start there, and I think you'll probably have some success. Thomas, speaking of cymbals, in your opinion, who has the most accurate samples of Paistes? Well, like I said in my video about Dr. Bob's sizzle and cymbals, for some reason, a lot of cymbals and drum packs that I hear sound like they have a layer of plastic over them for some reason to my ear. I don't know if I can hear what it takes to process those to be housed within the plug-in, if there's something they have to do, but I don't know that I have I don't know that I have a favorite. There are at least 4 Paiste symbols in my pack. I can't think of the names of all 4 of them offhand, but I know 2 of them are called like 16-inch lime and 18-inch lime, and those are Paiste signature crashes. So I know it sounds like I'm hawking my own stuff, but I'm not. I'm being honest. I'm sure there are sample packs out there that have Paistes, but not a huge fan yet of any symbols that I've heard. Um, Kev Rotzo, love your stuff. Wish I could stick around. First time catching you live. Well, I'll catch you next time. Kev, thanks for hanging for a little bit. Angry Shoebox. I use a guitar going through a patch I set up on Digitech RP55 for bass parts. Sounds surprisingly cool to my ears. You know what, Angry Shoebox? If it sounds good to you, I'm sure it sounds good to the rest of us. I don't have any Digitech stuff. A lot of bass stuff I have. I use some... there's a bass amp called Mark, I think Mark something, that's a VST bass amp, and what else do I use? Some MPEG bass amps that are virtual. But hey, Digitech RP55, there you go. Who'd have known? Paul Amps, I'm right here in Hermitage. Don't use that fake bass stuff. All right, Paul, I'll remember you. Hermitage, you're right across the lake. Anyway, I'm gonna duck out. I've got some other stuff I got to do tonight. I've got a mix I got to get done before the morning. What else tomorrow? I got to finish up some videos. Some cool stuff really that I'm working on, like 4 videos at the same time right now, and some really cool stuff I'm excited about coming up. Some great information that I use all the time, and just love passing it your way. So thanks for everybody that's been online tonight, and everyone that will watch it once it's posted. Have a safe and happy new year. Wherever you are across the world. It's been an interesting year, but let's hope for better things in 22, for COVID to not ravage the planet, and for us all to get back to work and be healthy and happy and good to each other. So anyway, have a great rest of the night. New video coming out tomorrow. Check it out. Check out the Dr. Bob's Killer Kit and the Sizzling Cymbals. Thanks to everyone that went to the Dr. Bob's store and bought t-shirts for Christmas. You can see the Dr. Bob's store link on below any video in the descriptions for the store. Go check out the Dr. Bob's Lounge. We've got a lot of people now getting mix help and production help through live calls, and I just feel blessed that I had a great year with all of you. I'll see you tomorrow in a video, and I'll see you next Wednesday. I'm gonna be doing. I was doing this on Sunday mornings for a while, and it was messing with my Thursday release video. So I'm gonna be doing it now on Wednesday nights like this, and usually I do it on Wednesday night and release a video on Thursday. So sorry for the long goodbye, but just trying to throw all this information at you once. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you guys